Hello. Welcome to Meltzer's Movie Madness. If you couldn't tell by now, we are, of course, reviewing today Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank Redemption?
Right.
Right. I don't think that's right.
No? Wasn't that the Shawshank Redemption theme we were just singing?
No, not at all. That was Robocop.
Oh. Maybe we should just review that one instead.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay. So, yeah, we are going to take a look at the classic 1987 sci-fi satire action extravaganza Robocop.
That's a lot of words to describe a single movie.
Well, there's a lot of it's a lot of stuff going on in the movie.
There is.
Yes.
There's a lot going on in that movie.
And I've seen this movie I don't know how many times. It's probably one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yes. RoboCop is hands down. It's still probably one of the best early superhero movies.
Yeah, I guess you can call it a superhero movie.
Sort of. That theme song is so epic for a superhero movie.
Yeah.
But so out of place.
Yeah.
the rest of the
heroic
movie.
theme, but it is by far one of the most violent, mean-spirited, nihilistic movies out there.
Extremely.
Yeah.
But before we go any further, spoilers, just in case.
Spoilers for
I don't like to do a review without being able to talk about the movie.
It's a 30-year-old movie, but in case you haven't seen
just
it
in
yet,
case,
don't want to piss anybody
you never
off.
know. Somebody might not have seen it.
And if you've only seen the remake, what's wrong with you? So I first saw this movie when I was 7 years old. My dad, God bless him, rented it for me, thinking it was just your garden variety superhero movie. Boy, was he wrong. Within 15 minutes when Alex Murphy gets horribly shot to death.
Not even that. There's the guy in the office, OCP,
shit, yeah,
who gets completely decimated by Ed 209.
Oh, 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, 5 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
Ed 209 practically shreds a person to pieces with his guns. This giant robot thing that has these giant robot armed cannons.
And just annihilates the poor son of a bitch.
Completely annihilates him.
And in the director's cut, it's even worse.
Yes, it is.
Because they actually had to cut parts out of this movie to release it because it was going to get an X rating for violence.
Yeah, which is very understandable.
Although,
upon rewatching and watching that particular version of the movie, the director's cut version, I didn't think it was, by today's standards anyway, maybe, I didn't think it was that bad.
No, by today's, there's way worse. The Hostel and the Saw movies, I think, are way worse in terms of violence.
Yeah.
But at the time, this was probably one of the goriest mainstream movies to come out.
Yeah, at the time. The Ed 209 thing, aside, when Alex Murphy, as a human being, first gets torn to pieces by the gang. Even the original theatrical cut, that was still very violent.
Yeah.
And that I saw it as a kid as well, and that scarred me.
Oh yeah, it traumatized me. It was a long time before I could watch the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it was only the edited for TV version.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I still, to this day, kind of have a hard time watching that part.
Yeah. You barely get to know this guy, and he's just horribly murdered.
Horribly murdered.
And it's a very long scene, too.
Yes.
Because first he gets his hand blown off, then he gets his arm blown off, then he gets shot a whole bunch in the chest, and then finally they shoot him in the head.
Yes.
While the dad from that 70s show was laughing about it the whole time.
Yes, and he's the one who shoots him in the head.
Yeah. You'll never look at Red Foreman the same way again after watching this movie.
Never. Still probably one of my favorite movie villains,
too. He has the best lines in the movie.
By far.
Yes.
Very quotable. He just... and right off the bat, when you first meet him,
right.
He just has some of the best lines ever.
Can you fly, Bobby?
Can you fly, Bobby? You burnt the fucking money!
Asshole, you
stupid asshole!
Which is what I like to call Ryan every once in a while.
Hey.
I'm just quoting the movie, baby. It's fine. It's all good.
So, Robocop. Let's backtrack a little bit here. What's your favorite part of RoboCop?
Favorite part. It's about halfway through the movie where the bad guys are all in like the coke lab or whatever, and RoboCop shows up and just wrecks shop on all of them while the RoboCop theme is playing. Love that scene. And then he beats the shit out of Red Foreman.
Yeah, he completely beats the shit out. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot that he actually beats him up at one point.
Yeah. That part's awesome. What's your favorite part?
I would probably have to say the first confrontation where he confronts the head guy at OCP, or not the head guy, but the one guy that's in cahoots with
Dick Jones.
Yeah, Dick Jones.
And then Ed 209 shows up.
Yeah, Ed 209, and it's a really long sequence where basically the entire police force is like ganged up against RoboCop, and they're all just kicking his ass.
Right.
And then his partner comes along and saves him.
But before that, I love it that Ed 209, the big killer robot, is revealed his one weakness is stairs.
Yeah. yes. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love that part so much is because of that very moment.
Yeah.
But I just like it's very I don't know how to put it. Like it's got a certain something to it that's very it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Because like everybody turns against RoboCop and
well, the music in that part, it's more of the dramatic music that they use.
Yeah. Yeah, and you just you see RoboCop struggling, like he's crawling on the ground, trying to get away and everything. And it's pretty it's the old heart to flutter a little bit.
Well, I'm dead inside, so I feel nothing. I just like the bullets and the explosions.
Just a little dead.
I also like the final confrontation at the steel mill against all the guys.
Yes.
Where that one poor son of a bitch gets doused with toxic waste and has probably one of the worst movie deaths of all time.
Yeah. Oh, that poor man.
And that poor guy, he shows up in a lot of other TV shows, and something horrible always happens to him.
Yep.
Because he was in the X-Files episode where he gets decapitated, and then he grew his own head back.
Yeah.
And then he was on ER, where he lost his arm in a helicopter explosion, or a helicopter crash, and then...
Isn't that how they killed him off,
Yeah,
too?
2 seasons later, another helicopter falls on him. And he was one of my favorite characters on the show, too, because he's such an asshole.
Yeah.
And they just horribly killed him.
Well, maybe that's kind of why they did it that way, though.
Maybe.
Because he's an asshole,
well,
so they gave him the worst possible death
guess.
scene. I don't know, I guess if I was on a serious TV show, that's how I'd want to go out, in a completely off-the-wall, non-serious
Oh, yeah.
just have a whole helicopter. Just drop it right on.
Right.
But anyway.
But, yeah, in Robocop, where he gets doused with the toxic waste and he's all melting.
Yeah, his skin, everything's just melting off of his body.
And then he gets splattered by a fucking car.
Yeah, like his body's so gone that the car hits him and he literally just like splats like a freaking bug against a windshield, and it's like the oozes all up over the windshield and everything.
The bad guy, Red Foreman, he's driving the car when it hits him, and his reaction is shit! Like, yeah, that's the right reaction to have when that happens.
Exactly. Yes. I think the movie has so many great things going for it.
Yeah.
The epic theme song that I never wanted to stop playing.
Right.
I just wanted to constantly go through the whole movie.
Just play the NES video game, because they play the theme song over and over again. And not the whole song, just the chorus.
Just the chorus.
Yeah. And I guess we'd be remiss if we don't mention all the Christ metaphors throughout the movie.
There are quite a few.
Robocop is basically Robo-Jesus.
He is.
Think about it.
That is the basic
he dies,
gist of it.
And he comes back, and him getting his hand blown off, that's like the stigmata being nailed to the cross.
Right.
Towards the end, he's actually walks on water.
Yeah. Quite a bit of Jesus metaphor going on.
Yeah. There's also all the little TV commercials and TV shows peppered throughout the course of the movie.
I love those. When I was watching it last night in preparations, I forgot about how many of them there are.
Yeah.
There's a board game in there called
Nukem. Yeah.
And I really want that game. I really do.
Yeah.
It looks like a fun game for some reason.
There's the artificial heart center.
Yes. That's like the first one.
Yeah.
That's like the first scene of the movie.
Yeah, that's basically how the movie starts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there's the claymation dinosaur that shows up in the car commercial.
It was like 6,000 sucks.
Yes.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
SUX.
SUX, yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah. And the movie takes place in Detroit in the near future. So basically present day Detroit.
Present day Detroit, yes.
But they didn't film it. They filmed it in Dallas.
Yeah.
They didn't even want to fucking shoot in Detroit.
Yeah. Who would?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to die.
Right? And now Detroit has an actual statue of Robocop in it.
I really want to see that statue.
Yeah.
I want to go and find it.
But as good as this movie is, the franchise as a whole, I would not say is that great.
It really went down after the first one.
Yeah.
Which was pretty typical of sequels of that particular era.
Paul Verhoeven directed this one, but he did not direct any of the other ones.
Yeah.
But part 2 has its moments. There's a few decent parts in it.
It does.
Part 3, complete piece of shit. Peter Weller didn't even come back to do part 3.
Yeah.
And then they went PG-13 with part 3. They had, I think, a couple different animated series, a couple different live-action series. All of those were crap. And then they did the remake a few years ago, which it was just dumb.
Yes, and the remake I personally didn't mind too much. It definitely did not hold a candle.
No, well, again, it went PG-13 with the remake. I thought, because Joel Kinnaman played Robocop in the remake, he did a good job.
Yes.
Everything around him was good, but every time they started to do something cool with Robocop, they would cut away to like a Senate hearing or something boring like that.
Yeah, I feel very much the same way. I think the casting in the remake was pretty spot on.
Yeah, Michael Keaton was good.
Yeah, I had no problem with any of the actors in the movie. But the movie itself was really lacking.
Yeah.
And there was a little too much, like you had said before, that you thought it would be better if they didn't focus on the Alex Murphy story.
If it was a completely different character becoming Robocop, that would have been fine. Then they could have made it just like a pseudo sequel to the original. It just took place years later with a new Robocop.
Yes.
But no, they had to do the Alex Murphy, and they changed a lot of stuff in it. And it just wasn't the same.
No.
I mean, they made Murphy more relatable before he became Robocop.
Yes.
Because in the original, you barely know him before he becomes Robocop.
Yeah, you don't really get to know him. But in a way, I think that's one of the things that works great about the movie, because we don't spend a lot of time trying to build things up right away.
No.
Like, there seems to be, and I see this issue a lot recently with a lot of movies, especially a lot of horror movies, where they basically spend the first 45 minutes of the movie trying to set up the characters, and then nothing happens during that first 45 minutes. Like, maybe a few very small things might happen here and there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, for the most part, nothing ever really happens.
Yeah.
And I think it's becoming kind of an issue where I can't get into a movie anymore because it takes so long before anything important
there's so much setup, and then by the time you get to the meat of the story, the movie's about over with.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's one of the things I like about Robocop, is that it doesn't... The story's there, the backstory.
Yeah, but it doesn't waste any time.
Yeah,
every scene serves a purpose. There's a scene later on where he goes and visits his house, and you just have these really quick flashbacks showing his family life. That's really all you needed to let you know who he was.
Yeah, that's it. And that's it worked out perfectly. And I think that was great. And the remake focused a lot on the family and trying to make the family the reason that he holds on to his humanity and everything like that. Which is great, I guess, but at the same time, one of the things I thought was really cool about the original movie was that it's Murphy has his own willpower that he rediscovers within himself.
Yeah.
And in a way, it is sort of his family that brings him back.
Yeah.
He still focuses on those memories, but it's more the memories of what happened to him that rekindle that humanity.
Well, and this is a really subtle thing, because throughout the course of the movie, when he talks, he has kind of like this metallic reverb in his voice. At the very end of the movie, where his last line is, they ask him his name, and he says Murphy. If you listen, he doesn't have the reverb anymore. It's just his regular human voice. So that's just a very subtle little touch that they did to show that he was accepting his humanity or something along those lines.
Interesting.
No. Some of the special effects have not held up that well, because it's still good, but a lot of the Ed 209 stuff, it's obvious stop motion animation.
It is obvious stop motion animation, but I think it's some of the better stop motion though. Like when I was watching it last night, I actually remember thinking to myself during that first opening scene when you first meet Ed 209, I was like, well, it's actually pretty good. Like, you can barely tell there's any kind of composting or compositing, composting.
Well, and they do a good job cutting between like a actual scale model Ed 209 and the puppet.
Yeah, they do a very good job. The editing is spot on with that, and like I said, the compositing is really well done.
Yeah, the only scene that I and even when when I first saw it, I thought it looked dumb. When Dick Jones dies at the end and he falls out the window, it is such an obvious dummy, and his arms are just like long, floppy things. It looks really dumb.
It does look really dumb. That's probably the one effect that I can definitely say does not hold up very well.
Yeah, I mean, Christ, Die Hard came out like a year later. They actually threw a guy out of a building when Hans Gruber dies at the end. Spoilers.
In case you haven't seen Die Hard after 30 years either. Hey, let's face it, if you haven't seen these movies by now, it doesn't fucking matter.
No.
Alright? You deserve to get the spoilers at this point. It's fucking Robocop and Die Hard.
Yeah. Darth Vader's Luke Skywalker's father.
Oh!
Bruce Willis was dead the whole time.
Oh, wait, that's a newer movie.
Sixth Sense.
Anyway, Robocop. I didn't know this until recently, but Keith here also informed me that there are lyrics
to the Robocop
theme song.
Yeah.
I did not notice it. I had never...
Yeah, it's he is a robot, he is a cop, he is a Robocop. So
they really pushed the boundaries of creativity with that one, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
it's a Robocop.
Cast was pretty good.
Yeah.
Cast was pretty stellar.
Peter Weller, Nancy Allen are all great. There's Kurtwood Smith, this is Clarence Bodker, Ronnie Cox. The dude who played Alec Holland, who turned into Swamp Thing, he's one of the bad guys in it. In the original Swamp Thing. He's the guy who, in the end, he drops all that stuff on Robocop and then he gets blown up. That's Ray Wise.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Ray Wise.
I thought that was the father from Twin Peaks.
That's the same guy.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Another useless fact for you.
Yeah, I guess so.
All 6 of you who watch our videos. Hi, Justin. Hi, Madison.
Hi. Love you guys. Overall, I think the movie does actually hold up fairly well.
Yeah.
Even though some of the effects might not.
But it's the time. It's an 80s movie. And
Yes.
and there are movies that came out around the same time that have not held up as well.
No. I think as far as movies go, this is definitely probably in my top 10.
It's my second favorite movie of all time.
It's definitely in my top 10 for sure.
Right below Raiders of the Lost Ark for me. So.
Yeah, I'd watch this movie a million times and it would never get old.
No.
So
It works as a sci-fi movie. It works as a satire. Works as an action movie. It's a superhero movie.
it does.
It's a Jesus movie.
It's a Jesus movie.
They should show this movie at church.
Yes. Well.
My church, anyway.
I guess at Sunday school.
Yeah. Hey kids, we're gonna watch RoboCop. We watched it last week. We're watching it again. Bitches leave.
Bitches leave. That's a line from the movie, by the way. I felt the need to clarify that in case you haven't seen it.
Sure it is.
Bitches leave.
I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy that for $1.
Well, I think that should.
I think that about sums it up.
Yeah.
I think it's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend seeing it.
Yeah. If you have seen it, watch it again.
Yes, because it's worth it every single time.
Mm-hmm. Get the director's cut too. I mean, there's not a whole lot of new stuff in it, but there's enough to make it worth your while to watch it.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.
And check us out on Patreon.
Yes, definitely check us out on Patreon because that's how we're planning on keeping this whole thing going, especially with some recent developments here on...
This is some dickbag on YouTube had to post a video of himself with a dead body.
Yeah.
And now everybody has to suffer.
Well, there's more to it than that.
Yeah,
but
I'm blaming that dickbag.
Yeah, I'm going to blame him anyway just because he deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely hit us up on Patreon. That's a really big deal. And make sure that you're sharing the videos and sharing the Patreon because that's how we get the word out. That's how people know about it, and that's how we get built up.
For just pennies on the dollar, you can feed us 2 starving artists. Don't you want to do that? Sure, you can save the whales, fight childhood obesity, but movies! You'll get more outstanding content, like me singing the Robocop theme song. He is a robot, he is a cop. Come on! He is a Robocop!
Anyway, that's all the time we have for today. Make sure you check us out next week. We will see you then.